It's raining SUVs. Every manufacturer and their uncle are bringing more and more of them. And Hyundai too is cashing in on this booming segment. Now the Creta has proved hugely popular and Hyundai want to ride that wave of popularity with their latest SUV, the Tucson, which is coming in September. Now this SUV also fills a nice little gap between the Creta and the Santa Fe. We're going to take a short drive to see what this new SUV is all about. The Tucson is unmistakably a Hyundai, carrying the signature fluidic sculpture design language. It's a flowing shape, full of curves and strong design elements like the massive 3-slat grille, stretched headlights, strong shoulder line and big wheel arches. The rear end is also very rounded and the small, sharply raked rear glass makes it look more of a crossover than a pure SUV. The slim and long tail lights which stretch into the tailgate look superb and typically Hyundai too. Now getting a car's proportions spot on is possibly the most difficult thing for a designer, and Hyundai has once again nailed it with the Tucson, which sitting on these lovely 17-inch alloys looks so well balanced. The interior design feels rather subdued after the Tucson's flashy exterior, and it's obvious that Hyundai has prioritized function over form because there's an overall blandness in the cabin. There's a familiar two-tone design with a distinct separation between the infotainment and aircon control units. The touchscreen sits high up and is closely flanked by these wing-shaped air vents. Below the pod for the aircon unit sit all the power sockets, and under that is a spacious cubbyhole. It's the same logical layout you have in the Creta. The quality of materials is a clear step up from the Creta, and there's more use of soft touch plastics. The double-stitched leather seats too feel premium, and like most Hyundais, the Tucson too is really well equipped. Passenger room is quite generous in the Tucson, and again the space on offer is closer to the Santa Fe. But unlike the Santa Fe, there's no third row in the Tucson, which allows second row seating to be optimized. What this means is that there is more than enough width, legroom and headroom for 5 average-sized adults to get genuinely comfortable. Boot space again is very generous, and the seats can be flipped down to accommodate even more luggage. The Tucson will come with a 2-liter diesel that puts out 136 HP and 373 Nm of torque. Now these are modest figures and they feel pretty modest on the road too. Now this 2-liter diesel is very smooth, very refined. In fact, Hyundai diesels have earned a reputation for their refinement and how quiet they are. But in terms of performance, really not very exciting. You don't really get that kick. There's a bit of turbo lag, and it's only after 2000 RPM that the engine really kicks in. What I'm driving right here is the manual version, though in India the automatic is likely to be the mainstay of the range. Now the lack of punch is a bit disappointing, and I found myself working the 6-speed gearbox quite a lot to extract the most out of the engine. The good thing is that each upshift lands the tacho needle bang in the meat of the power band. The clutch is quite light by SUV standards, which will make it quite easy to drive in the daunting rush hour traffic. For the Indian market, in addition to the 6-speed manual, the Tucson will also come with an automatic, and this is also a 6-speed unit. Now the Tucson handles like most Hyundais, which is to say it's not very exciting or sporty. But the Tucson surprised me with its body control, which is to say that it's really quite stable through the corners. Even at high speeds, it gives you a lot of confidence. It's just the steering, which is again typically Hyundai, doesn't really have feel, and they've got this sport and normal button. You just press sport and all it does is make the steering heavier without adding much feel to it. But what the Tucson is really good at is highway cruising. Well, Hyundai's new Tucson as expected, like most Hyundais, it really is a great package. To be honest, it doesn't really excel in any particular area, but the blend of design, a nice spacious interior, good materials on the inside too, and lots of equipment is really what makes the Tucson stand out. Now, I don't think it's going to be quite a runaway success like the Creta is. This car is going to face a lot more competition, and it's going to be on the pricier side, upwards of 20 lakhs. But overall, if Hyundai can give this car great value, this could be the best-selling car in its segment for sure.